morning. In this lecture, we discuss about existence of the best approximation in Hilbert space, and also we talk about a projection using up that theorem. So in a metric space, the distance delta from an element x belongs to be set X to a non-empty subset M is defined to be infimum of dxy where y belongs to be M. And in norm space, this becomes a infimum of a norm of x minus y, where y belongs to be m. So it is important to know whether there is y belongs to be a set m such that delta is equal to be norm of x minus y. That is, intuitively speaking, a point y belongs to be a set m which is closest to the given point x. If such an element exists, now the question is whether it is unique. So means here we have two problems are there. Whether that X is being existing, and if it exists, if then the question is whether it is unique or not. So this is an existence and uniqueness problem. It is of a fundamental importance theoretically as well as in applications, for instance in connection with the approximations of functions. So before discussing a theorem, we discuss some definitions. The segment joining the two elements x and y of a vector space capital X is defined to be the set of all z belongs to be x of the form z is equal to be alpha x plus 1 minus alpha y, where alpha lies between 0 and 1. A subset M of a x is said to be convex if for every x and y belongs to be M, the segment joining x and y is contained in M, that is alpha x plus 1 minus alpha y belongs to be capital M, for all alpha belongs to be interval 0 1 and x and y belongs to be M. So now we discuss the existence and uniqueness of the minimizing vector in a inner product space. So let X be an inner product space and M is a non-empty convex subset which is complete. Then for every given X belongs to be a set capital X, there exists a unique Y belongs to be a set M such that delta is equal to be infimum of X minus Y, where Y belongs to be set M. So the proof of this theorem will be divided into two parts. First, we will talk about existence, then we'll talk about the uniqueness of this y. The first, we will talk about the existence of a y. So by the definition of an infimum, there is a sequence yn in a capital M such that delta n converges to be delta, where delta n is equal to be norm of x minus yn. So now we have to show that this sequence is a Cauchy sequence. Suppose that Vn is equal to be yn minus x, and we have a norm of the Vn is equal to be delta n. So consider the norm of a Vn plus Vm, which is equal to be norm of a Vn plus Vm minus of norm of 2xy, substituting the value of a Vn. And taking up a 2 common out here, so this becomes a norm of half of Yn plus Ym minus of Ax. So now here the set M is a convex and we have a half of a Yn plus Ym, so y belongs to be M. So this element, this vector belongs to be a set M. So all those sequences from AM minus of AX we have by using up a definition again, this is greater than or equal to be delta, 2 times delta. So furthermore, Yn minus Ym is equal to be the Vn minus the Vm, and using up a parallelogram law, we have considering up a norm of a Yn minus Ym square is equal to be norm of a Vn minus Vm square is equal to be minus of a norm of a Vn plus Vm whole square plus 2 times norm of a Vn square plus norm of a Vm square. This is by using up a parallelogram equality. Now this is Vn plus Vm is greater than or equal to be 2 times delta, and so minus of this is less than or equal to be minus of 2 times delta square. And where the norm of Vn square is less than delta n square and norm of Vm square is delta m square. Now taking up n and m converges to be infinity, we get this sequence yn is a Cauchy sequence. And since m is a complete, so this yn converges to be some element of m. So it converges to be say y. So we have a norm of x minus y is greater than or equal to be delta. So we have the norm of a x minus y is less than or equal to be a norm of a x minus yn plus norm of a yn minus y by using a triangle inequality out here. So norm of a x minus yn, we have already talked about, this is equal to be delta n plus norm of a yn minus y. So this converges to be a delta because the yn converges to be y out here, and delta n converges to be delta. So this shows that this y is being existing up in M. So now we'll talk about the uniqueness of such y. So now we prove the uniqueness of y belongs to be M. So assume that there is another element, say y naught in M, and satisfying these conditions, norm of x minus y is equal to be delta and norm of x minus y naught is equal to be delta. So considering up a norm of a y minus y naught square, which is equal to be norm of a y minus x minus of a y naught minus x square. And again using up the parallelogram law out here, so we can get up, this is a 2 times the norm of y minus x square plus 2 times the norm of y naught minus x square minus of norm of y minus x plus y naught minus x square. Again using up the properties out here that the half of a y plus y naught belongs to be m because the set m is a convex and this term is greater than or equal to be delta. So we found that the norm of a y minus y naught square is less than or equal to be 0. But we know the property of a norm is that the norm is always greater than or equal to be 0. So we have a norm of a y minus y naught is greater than or equal to be 0. So we have norm of a y minus y naught is equal to be 0. That is the y is equal to be y naught. We get the uniqueness of such a y. If such y is being existing up, then that y is a unique. So now in the previous theorem we have taken up the convex subsets. So from the convex subsets we are talking about the subspaces now. So we obtain a following result which generalizes the familiar idea of a elementary geometry that the unique point in a given subspace y closest to a given x is found by just dropping a perpendicular from x to y. So why it is called a projection theorem. So in the previous theorem, if we consider that the M is a complete subspace of y and keeping the x is being fixed, then the z, which is equal to be x minus y, is orthogonal to y. That is, z is perpendicular to y. Now proof of this result will start with a contradiction. Suppose that this z is, which is equal to be x minus y is not orthogonal to y. Now if it is not orthogonal to the set y, it means that there exists some element y1 in a set y such that the inner product of a z comma the y1 is not equal to be 0. And suppose that it is equal to be beta. So clearly this y1 is not equal to be 0, otherwise the inner product of a z comma y1 is the 0 vector. So furthermore, for any scalar alpha, we consider the norm of a z minus alpha times the y1 square, which is equal to be inner product of a z minus alpha 1, z minus the alpha 1, by using up the relation between the norm and the inner product. We have already discussed this. Now further using up the property of an inner product, we have this becomes the inner product of a z into z minus of the inner product of the z into the alpha times the y1, and we get the alpha is common out. The second is a linear conjugate, so we have a alpha bar into z minus the g comma y1 minus of, now this is being inner product of this element with this and inner product of this with this. We get the alpha times inner product of a y1 comma z minus the alpha bar inner product of a y1 comma y1. And again by using up a property out here, so we have this is equal to be norm of a z square, and because we have already considered that this is equal to be beta, this is the alpha bar into the beta, alpha conjugate into the beta minus of a alpha. Now this will become the conjugate of a beta, so the beta conjugate minus alpha conjugate into the inner product of a y1 and y1. So furthermore, we choose this beta bar minus the alpha bar into the inner product of y1 is equal to be 0. Then this alpha bar is equal to be the beta bar over the inner product of y1 comma y1. So we have the norm of a z minus alpha y1 square is equal to be norm of a z square minus of substituting the value of the alpha bar here. We get this is the beta bar into the beta over the inner product minus alpha into 0. So which is equal to be a delta square minus the now beta into beta bar is equal to modulus of beta square over the inner product. Now this is less than equal to be delta square, but this is impossible because we have a z minus alpha y1 is equal to be z is equal to be x minus y. So this is equal to be x minus y2 where y2 is equal to be y plus alpha times the y1 and it belongs to be y. So by using the definition of a delta, so this is norm of a z minus alpha y1 is greater than equal to be delta. So it means that our supposition is wrong. Hence, z is perpendicular to y or x minus y is perpendicular to y. Thank you. So this is a suggested reading that you should follow up.